Hello and welcome, all the losers, freaks, and social outcasts, to yet another episode of the E-CEL podcast, your source for all things e-punk and Incelcore. I am your host, Ofigs, and I thank you for tuning in. If you guys want to support the podcast, we have a merch store with some really cool merch for sale. I bought several myself, of course, and so have many others. And especially if you really want to financially support the podcast, there's a special promotional poster for sale there, which every purchase gives me $20 that I will put forward to the next E-CEL Motel competition. So please look into buying that. Check the link below. Please subscribe to us on YouTube, follow us on Spotify, and follow us on Twitter. And of course, make sure you guys check out our Rumble channel for any offensive and off-color clips we may have to remove from this episode. Of course, if you guys want to stay tapped in, join the official E-CEL Discord server. Invite link and links to everything else is at the top of the description below. I'd like to announce something to anyone willing to lend their talents to the podcast. We are looking for someone willing to make clips of the podcast that we can put on like YouTube Shorts and Instagram Reels and TikTok and all that. If you have any experience doing short form video editing such as that, or if it's something you'd simply be willing to try, something that you'd be willing to attempt for us, please DM me either on Discord or on my Twitter at Incelcore fan. I think there's a lot of funny clips that could be made from this podcast, and that'd be a great way to put ourselves out there. Just a reminder to everyone that we're doing Twitter Spaces between interviews on the E-CEL Twitter account. So every Friday that there isn't an interview being posted, we'll be doing a Twitter Space instead. It'll be just as a time for artists to come and chat and hang out and discuss scene drama or new music releases and just generally have a good time. We've already done a couple of them. Each of them went great. They won't be recorded. They're not recorded. So you have to be there in the space to hear them before they're lost forever. We're trying to do them, like I said, every other Friday when there's no interview around 8 or 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So follow us on Twitter to be reminded of those at E-CEL Network. That's where we'll post all those announcements. But aside from all that, that's really all I wanted to get out of the way. So we're going to go ahead and get my co-host in here. Let's all welcome back to the show a good friend of mine. His interview on this podcast actually has the most amount of views out of any one of the one-on-ones so far. And me and him just recently made a song together that everyone should go check out. It's on my Soundcloud channel, on his YouTube channel. Please give it up for Not the Proper Attire. Welcome back to the show, man.
I've been gracefully allowed to be back after my performance last time. You know, I had to pull some strings. I had to do a little bit of begging, all right, a little bit of on my knees crying. But I was finally allowed to be back on the podcast, so I would thank you very much.
Yes. True. Yeah, no, it's great to have you back. I'll admit, I was going to have you on as the co-host for the Deep Blue interview. It's just that while I was doing the research for that, like, I didn't know a whole lot about Deep Blue. He's a pretty quiet guy in terms of his interactions with the scene, so I figured I needed to switch to Lil Watermark since he's like friends with him, and you
got to switch to Lil Mark because you're trying to get that big name in there, that real guy. So
exactly, but I swear I'm not playing favorites. All right, I mean, here you are, you're here now.
Man, two co-hosts versus one. I see what we're doing here.
Yeah, okay. Well, there's still plenty of episodes in the future, so you might make a return yet again. But I know that I wanted to say, I know you've been catching a lot of flack for being the only gay guy on the scene, or the only outspoken gay guy, but seems like you're not like really gay though, right? You're not actually gay.
Okay, hold on. Here's some allegations. There are allegations headed my way, not only from Ofigs, but even from some personal people I know. They're like, and I've never confirmed the gay allegations. All right, we don't know if that's true. But also, I've never confirmed the straight allegations. We don't know that one either. So, I just want to say,
it's like asexual
or that. No, okay, I'm gonna nip that in the bud. All right, I am gooning, I am edging, I am cooming all the time.
What?
I see fucking people down the street. I fucking pop a huge rager every time. So,
okay.
That is simply untrue. Okay, I will nip that one in the bud. But the rest, it's up for interpretation at this point.
Awesome, that's great. Yeah. Seems like a very stark departure from what you said on your interview on the channel, We said never goon and all that.
People change, people grow, all right. People mature, all right. And as I've grown and grown up, I've realized that sometimes you just gotta tug your willy.
Okay.
Like there's nothing wrong with that.
Goodness, man. You've also, I mean, I'm gonna say you've. Are these pictures that you've been drawing on the Twitter timeline, are those kind of done with?
Okay.
I mean, for the audience, for those who don't know, Attire has an artful side to him, and he likes to draw his profile picture from time to time in various situations.
Well, I don't just draw the profile picture. I don't, I draw many things,
Right, but the thing is, the things that you have drawn are what some would say is gooner material.
Now, okay, there's a difference. All right, trust me, I know. All right, I've got an eye for gooner material, and I know the difference as an artist and a gooner. There's a difference between artistic depictions of, the body and that, and absolute goon fuel, all right? And I believe what I do is very artistic. I'm like Michelangelo. I'm like Leonardo. I'm like Da Vinci, okay? That's me.
Don't think Da Vinci's out there drawing women's bush, though.
Well, that wasn't invented back then, but, thankfully technology has advanced enough where we can let women grow bush, too.
Okay, dude.
But no, I'd say mine is very artistic, and I think it's good for the mind and the spirit, personally, what I draw.
So those are still in production then. They're not, you haven't been convinced to stop?
Well, so far I have gotten some money to draw something that I know you, Mr. Prude over here, would probably consider to be game material, but I would consider it to be very artistic. So no, they're not going to stop as long as I keep getting money from them. Absolutely not.
Okay. All right. Well, okay. I guess, I've always said I can respect bag chasing, but
heck yeah, baby.
Yeah, all right. I'll just let that one lay. But speaking of drawing material, obviously this is being recorded on September 21st, but by the time this episode is out, we have a collab song that is basically ready to be posted. We're just waiting on you to draw the other part of the artwork, right? Is that coming along?
I will start that probably tomorrow.
Okay, sweet. It's got to be out by the time this episode comes out.
Definitely listen. That is my top priority. All right, I will get that finished. So
yeah, for the audience, again, go check out my SoundCloud channel and Attire's YouTube channel. We did a collab song. It sounds awesome. I love it. I thought it came out great. So a little bit of a promotional piece. I think Lil Watermark will like it.
It's probably the best collab between two people in the scene that exists. Personally, I don't think there's anything better than that.
This is true. I had a lot of fun working on it, so hopefully everybody checks that out.
Mm-hmm. It's like Farmyard times 2. Okay, that's how good it is.
Yeah, exactly. Farmyard's got nothing on us. I was wanting to know the song. It's about Steakfest. That's why I said it's kind of like a promotional piece. Attire, you are going to Steakfest, right?
As long as some fucking catastrophic event doesn't happen, I have all intentions to drive my ass across the country to go to Steakfest, yes.
Which is just crazy, man. You're driving, I don't want to dox you. Do you care to say where you're driving from?
No, it's I live in Texas, so that's known info. I mean, maybe to the layman, that's crazy. I used to drive all day, every day for a living, and so driving long distance is nothing for me. And I've done a cannonball run from New York to Texas, one go, no stops.
Wow. How many hours is that?
It's about 22, 23.
Jeez, dude, that's insane.
I've done it.
No stops? I have a hard time believing that. Did you have a Red Bull or something in there?
No. I think I might have just had I think I had a Subway and Gatorade, and I think that's the only stop I made.
Just raw 22-hour drive? That's insane.
Put on a lot of Blink-182 on that ride for sure. And Joe Rogan, I think, because my sister's. Oh no, we put on the Tom DeLonge Joe Rogan interview because my sister's boyfriend really likes Joe Rogan. I obviously really like Tom DeLonge, so that was a little.
So you weren't alone?
I was not alone. No.
Okay.
But I did draw I took a quick nap, but I did drive probably 20 of those hours out of the 24.
Impressive.
Yeah.
I don't want to volunteer you for anything, but would you be... I know there's a bunch of carpools that are organized for Steakfest, which is happening in New York. Do you care to offer like carpool idea for?
I think I will, yeah, because I'm even gonna get like a freaking rental car, because my car is a piece of doo-doo butt. I'm not driving. I've driven my car from there back, and I think that's about all it takes. So I'm gonna get a rental car, and I could get like one with a lot of room and stuff. So
Sweet.
You know, if anyone's in between North Texas and freaking New York, you know, I'm going through Arkansas, Tennessee, Virginia, all that. You want to ride, and you know you want to spend a lot of time with you know, best artist in the scene. You know, it's a very good opportunity for you, I would say. So
Yeah, definitely. Awesome. Well, hopefully some people take you up on that. I think that'd be cool. That'd be a great road trip. I'd go on it, but I'm on the other side of the country.
well, I mean, Mr. frickin' Big Bucks over here is taking an airplane, you know, so.
Yeah. You know, you got to fly in style, you know, first class and all that. And,
yeah, get the champagne, you know.
Yeah.
Maybe join the Mile High Club. This could be your opportunity, all right? Those flight attendants, you know, I hear they're pretty desperate.
Yeah, you know what? You're right. You know, all that time alone in the air, maybe an incel like me will have a chance.
This is true.
For our first big piece of news, massive news story here. Apparently, Anhero has made his return to the scene. He just posted a song on SoundCloud the other day, which actually, fun fact, the last song that he uploaded, which was about 3 years ago, it was almost exactly to the day, because that other song, the last song he posted before this one, it was posted on September 23rd, 2021. And this one that he just posted was posted on the 21st of September, 2024. So it's almost 3 years to the day. But I don't know if you've had a chance to listen to it, Attire, but I listened to the song. I thought it was really good. It's really high quality, well produced. I can't tell. Maybe you got a better ear for it. I can't tell if those are real drums that he's using in there. But the song sounds awesome.
I'll have to check it out. I haven't gotten the chance. You know, I've been a very busy boy myself. So.
Oh, sure. Yeah. Have you heard any of Anhero's songs in the past?
Yeah. He was one of the people like early on, like getting into Incelcore, because he's one of those names that you hear. It's like, okay, this is one of the dudes you got to listen to. I think I remember getting into him in that old Heartbreaker interview that I don't know is still on the internet. He mentioned him a lot as an influence, and I was like, I might as well check out this guy. And I was like, it's a little different from Heartbreaker, but you know, it's definitely. I mean, that's a classic name right there, and it does feel like a lot of old people who, you know, might have gone into hibernation are finally starting to come back up, come out of their caves, out of their bunkers, and, you know, do stuff now.
Yeah, no, you're totally right. Like, it really is pretty obvious to me that the scene is like coming back in a big way. Mm-hmm. Anhero coming back is just even more evidence of that. Then Slater came back.
Everyone's coming out of their bunkers, man. They're dipping their heads back in. You know, they realize that they survived, and you know, civilization has continued on, and so they're ready to join the fold yet again.
I would tell everybody to exercise a little bit of caution with these guys returning. Not necessarily all of them, you know. I mean, Anhero and Slater are well-known names, but there's going to be people who come back who don't necessarily have the scene's best interest at heart, you know? I mean, these people are coming back because they see it succeeding. Mm-hmm. They weren't here for the dark period, you know? Like, the guys who stuck through the dark period are, you know, the real OGs.
Yeah, they stuck with it for the love of the game, you know? And,
yeah.
You know, but these people, I think, like, that's fine, you know, to be like, oh, you know, maybe they're just like, oh, you know what? You know, I'm missing out or whatever, and it still looks like this is still fun, even after all, you know, whatever bullcrap it's like. But you know, you're right, there definitely could be people who would just see this as a total opportunity and probably still hold like a lot of bad blood and grudges against it, and are just, you know, so.
Right. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. I know there's been some mixed reactions to Anhero's return. Obviously, most people are happy to have him back. I mean, the guy, I don't know like a whole heck of a lot about his history with music, but right now on SoundCloud, he's only got 18 tracks uploaded. But they're all, like, it's the same story with Durr. Like, all of his tracks are just total classics, you know? His one album has, like, 1 million total plays or something. It's a really good album and with really great songs, so he really is, like, quality over quantity with this guy.
Yeah, I was just going to say, that's what they call it.
Yeah, exactly. So, there's been some mixed reactions, though. Some people didn't like him when he left, and some people obviously missed him a whole lot. So it'll be interesting to see if he continues to interact with the scene more, or if he just uploads and just rides off his old fame,
It did seem the reason that he left before was it's just like, he's like, I'm done with this sort of stuff now, it wasn't,
Right.
So has he really even said anything since he came out, or has he just, released that? And
all I know is that he's messaged a couple people over Discord that he used to talk to. And also he has been leaving comments on covers of his songs that people have made. If you go look at the latest comments on his SoundCloud, they're all on covers of his songs.
Yeah.
So he's catching up on the covers.
Maybe he was just gone off the internet for all that time.
Yeah.
Not even looking at what was happening.
Yeah, so he is interacting with the scene again in at least a marginal way. It would be really cool to have him on the podcast. I've got a lot of questions for this guy. Because he started off really early and he was pretty tapped in, a lot of people knew this dude. So we'll see if he uploads anything more in the future.
Yeah.
But for the next piece of news, I'm sure we all know Brynn Mish on SoundCloud. She's well known for being, she calls herself the token femcel of Incelcore, calls her music Bryncelcore and all this. But she deleted her Twitter account recently for what a lot of people originally thought, even me, I originally thought that it was because she made this tweet, which I'm not going to reiterate here. You can check the E-CEL Twitter account if you want to see what it was. Really disgusting tweets. I thought that's why she deleted her account originally, but apparently what happened is she was doxxed, and so she deactivated her Twitter account. But I don't know, it could have also been a combination of both of those things.
Maybe, just too many things all at once, I guess.
Yeah, exactly.
As we get one person coming back, another one leaves, so it's sort of like an equivalent exchange sort of thing, I guess, I don't actually think we got a better deal out of this, honestly, if you ask me.
Totally, yeah. I mean, I'd gladly trade Brynn for Anhero. Are you kidding me? But it was also kind of hilariously timed because she deleted her account basically minutes after Cameron Flodge made his Twitter account.
Oh, yeah. See, so much other people are coming back and they're leaving, man. It's a revolving door or something happening.
Yeah, we're thinning the herd, we're building up the high quality musicians, it's we're building a scene again. It's coming. The scene is just so obviously back. It's so awesome. I totally called it, by the way. At the beginning of summer, I said it's going to be an incel summer, we're coming back in a big way. And what do you know it, dude? What do you know it? We are back. In no uncertain terms. Am I right?
The graph is at the top. All right. We are at the peak. We're out of the valley. Officially.
Yeah, totally. So it's really cool to see.
So, which means that it can only go downhill from here. Prepare for hundreds and hundreds of crash outs all at once. So it will happen.
Yeah, it's going to be a wild ride in the future. I'm sure 2025 is going to be an interesting year, no matter how it shakes out.
That's what you said. What did you say? 2025 is going to be a totally different year, no matter what. It's going to be.
Oh yeah, I made a tweet. It said 2025 will be. The scene will be more different than it's ever been before in 2025. It's going to look entirely different than it ever has before. And I stand by that wholeheartedly. It really will. Incelcore is going to be a completely new monster next year. What that means, we'll have to wait and see. But
whether that's a good thing or a bad thing, time will tell.
For better or for worse, it's going to be entirely different. But I'll have to stick around and see it out, see it through, what it looks like then. But speaking, though, of talented musicians, I've been asked to promote a compilation album that's going to be coming out literally the day after this podcast. It's set up actually by a up and coming name, the third place winner of the E-CEL Motel competition, Yoshi. He's setting up this comp album. It's called Domestic Terrorism. And it's going to feature a bunch of small up and coming artists. It's going to be a really small album. It's only one song each, but all the guys on it, I think that they're up and coming. They are ones to watch out for, so to speak. So I hope everybody checks out this comp, Domestic Terrorism, coming out on the 28th of September. I'm sure it's going to be good. If nothing else, I'm looking forward to hearing more of Yoshi's music. He only has 3 songs up right now, but I love all of them, frankly.
I remember right after the E-CEL stuff, like, I remember a lot of people saying, it was like, all right, dude, you got to lock in. You got to do more stuff. Like, come on. You can't let this opportunity go.
Yeah, literally. He like quadrupled in his followers, and he really struggled to churn anything out. But the song that he did eventually come out with, I liked it. I thought it was cool. It was interesting, but I think he's got a cool sound.
Do we know who else? Like, I guess this is like official to say who else is on that.
Yeah, I've got the list here. The other people who's going to be is some guy called Beelzebub. That's actually the one guy I don't know who it is, but he's going to be on there. There's going to be Healer. Healer's cool. He was also on E-CEL Motel. Then there's this guy called I Puke Blood. He's a frequent poster on Reddit.
Love him. Shout out.
Then there's Picks in a Bottle, and Strepsiades is also going to be on there. So
nice.
And then obviously Yoshi. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I like these guys' music. I think it's going to be interesting, if nothing else.
Gotta check it out.
Totally. Anyways, can you think of any more news that we need to cover, Attire, before we get into the interview? Anything you want to bring up?
No, nothing. Listen, all right, I've been known to be a little forgetful, a little blank-minded, so if anything happened, I forgot about it, so that's awesome.
Yeah, it's no big deal. I think we're ready anyways. So I'm going to go ahead and get Edgemaster in here, and we're going to get this interview started. I am very excited to welcome onto the podcast a very talented individual, best known for making the penultimate generic Incelcore song. His unique style of music has mixed scenecore, hyperpop, metal, and e-punk into some very enjoyable tracks. He holds one of the funniest Incelcore Twitter accounts, and he's set to soon release a new EP. So here is everyone's favorite Jew, Edgemaster42. What's up, man? Welcome to the podcast.
Damn, no edging. You're just going to make him come straight up. I see it. Damn, that's nice. That's a nice intro.
Thank you very much, man.
I'm doing okay, yeah.
Awesome. So I'm just going to cover something straight off the bat. It isn't a joke that you're actually Jewish and live literally in Tel Aviv, right?
The most common response that I get for being like Israeli is like, no way, that's not actually real, right? You're joking. It's just like a meme thing. You set your location to Tel Aviv. But no, I am actually Jewish. I'm not even the first Israeli artist in this scene even, so...
Really?
Yeah, you haven't heard of Spree? He's like real old head shit. Spree is Israeli.
All right, Spree Killer, right?
No, just Spree. It was on MSG and everything.
No, I had no idea that he was Jewish too, but that's interesting. I didn't know that.
Yeah, he's Israeli. But yeah, I am unfortunately Jewish.
Well, not unfortunately. Come on, we love everybody here.
The Incelcore is very accepting.
הכל בסדר, אנחנו נסתדר, הכל טוב.
Okay.
I bet that means something awesome.
I will say, Incelcore is a pretty right-wing scene. I'm wondering, have you faced any like actual bad blood from people because of your Jewish heritage?
Very little. Like some occasionally someone will drop in my DMs being like, "Yo, you're a fucking or whatever." But first of all, I don't give a shit. Like, I'm not sensitive about that stuff. I'll just call them whatever back. And the overall response has been like super positive. A bit glazing even at times, but I don't mind.
Really?
I don't mind. I can get glazed. I don't care. But yeah, no, I've actually been like most people have shown me a lot of support regarding that.
I wanted to know because like most of the scene is either in like America or I guess England or something like. And I thought like being where I am because a lot of it's on the East Coast in Texas. I was like man, there's like no one out here who's like in this like. I want to know if you're all the way out there, like, you ever get like, oh man, I can't go to all these events or meet all these people as much because like, I'm, one of the only ones out here, like.
Some FOMO.
Yeah, you ever get a little lonely?
Yeah, we were trying to actually organize a like Virgin Fest equivalent in Tel Aviv, but that kind of fell through because of logistics issues. But yeah, of course, I'm always like, I missed out on like last year's Steakfest. I really wanted to go to that, and then the war started like right before then. I really wanted to go that time, and yeah, I've been missing out. But this time, I'm really like bent on coming. I'm gonna do my best. Like, there's a chance like my plane tickets are gonna get canceled because of the war, but this time I really want to show up. Yeah.
Could you imagine a Virgin Fest in Tel Aviv on 9/11? That'd be something
I'd fly
else.
out for that. All right, I'd go out for
Those
that.
Those Israelis sure be dancing.
Like,
Yeah. So have you? I guess I'll go into that really quick. Have you been affected by the war at all? Like, I know they were drafting everybody. Has the war like affected your life?
I got out of the army because I have mental illness, so that's not a worry. But
nice up top.
What kind of mental illness, if you don't mind my asking?
that's a deep cut. That's a deep cut, maybe for another day. But
Oh, for sure.
I was affected by the war. Like my job, I work in aviation, so my job got fucked for real. Like,
I bet.
like they canceled a bunch of my shifts, and also obviously rocket attacks. Like there were rockets in my city all around me. Like I had to go to the shelter like a million times.
Oh
Yeah.
my god,
Like everyone were affected. There is not a single person who wasn't affected in Israel.
that's crazy.
Wow, dude, that's some crazy stuff. But has it affected your music at all? Like it created maybe some inspiration for songs or anything like that?
I guess working less and being a NEET kind of brought me. I mean, indirectly, I guess. Yeah, indirectly, it brought me back inside into my room, being alone and fucked up, and I began like using drugs more than usual because of it. I guess so. You could say.
For sure.
I guess.
Okay, well, cool. I did want to ask, by the way, while we're sort of on this topic, you've been making music for a very long time, like longer than most people in the scene. Like your earliest uploads, like on your YouTube channel, it goes all the way back to 2016. Can I ask how old you are?
I am. First of all, I just turned 24. I'm an old fag, but
Okay.
Let's go.
I actually started making music in 2015. The first video on my YouTube got deleted because it had slurs on it. It was.
Oh.
You want to hear the lore? It's actually kind of funny. So I went on R9K, like at the time it was like late 2015, and I typed in like, okay guys, you can like type out whatever you want, and I'm gonna record it into a rap song. So they did, and I did, and I recorded it, and I posted it on YouTube, and it was the first thing I ever uploaded on that channel. But it got yeeted off of YouTube because, as you can imagine, like I don't think I should repeat anything that was said there because I don't want to get this taken down or anything, but it was pretty bad, yeah.
Okay, gotcha. Is that up anywhere else that people can still hear it, or is that gone forever?
I can. I have a backup on it. It's really low quality, but if people want it, I'll post it again on BitChute or whatever. It's kind of funny.
Okay, sweet. Yeah, maybe we could look forward to that when this episode drops.
Yeah, get that old Edgemaster lore, all right?
Yeah. Speaking of your old music, though, I gotta know, how did you go from making music such as like that one that you're talking about? You have a song called E-CEL Rap, which is literally a rap song.
Yeah.
You have a song called All Star Lolly Cover on your SoundCloud, which is really old. How'd you go from making that type of music to generic Incelcore song? How does that process work?
Well, for one thing, I just got better at making music. That's one thing.
Okay.
And another thing, like back in like 2016, 2017, I was really into like Pink Eye was a big influence for me.
Oh, wow.
Like I kind of like that type of like ironic meme music kind of thing. So I kind of set out to do like a similar ironic shitpost kind of thing. And it's just I just kind of switched goals. I like around 2022, I like sat down and went like, yeah, I actually want to make music that's like kind of meme-ish and kind of stupid and silly and like deals with all this internet stuff. But I also want it to be like, you know, listenable.
Right, yeah.
Well, your stuff is like, because you go back so far, and I mean, it's sort of still like that same kind of 4chan board culture, but like, what was your reaction, I guess, seeing like Incelcore as we know it, which, you know, kind of came up, you know, 2019, 2020 and stuff, like, and of course, you know,
yeah,
you got roped into all of that, but like, was your reaction like, you know, I've kind of been doing this already, and now here it's going, like, as an official thing?
I don't know if this is a surprise. Like, I define myself, like, I did like define myself on numerous occasions as Incelcore, but like I still kind of like see myself as like 4chan music, like a 4chan music kind of guy, because that's where I came from. But like I do identify with Incelcore and everything, but I just like I remember like when I first learned about Incelcore in like late 2018, like early 2019, I thought like this is kind of where this has all been leading up to, like all the shitpost kind of music. This is kind of like where it's at, because that's kind of what I've wanted to do all along. So I kind of like instantly connected with it, but I kind of didn't like seriously get influenced by it, like by Incelcore directly in my music until like 2021, 2022 or so.
Because I mean, obviously you were doing your own thing, right? Like,
yeah, I've always been doing my own thing, like pretty much. But like I kind of got influenced in it more and more as like time went on. I guess that's what I'm trying to say.
So, if you knew about Incelcore, you said in like 2019, 2020, that's when it started. Like that's when the scene really began. Do you remember anything from like the culture in the early days? Like, were you part of the Incelcore culture? Or did you just see that it existed?
Yeah, I made a documentary about Virgin Fest, like literally, like 2 weeks after it dropped or something.
Right. Yeah, I saw that. It was a very good video, by the way.
Thank you. Even I think Raven retweeted it at the time. I remember that.
Nice.
we love Raven.
Nah.
Yeah, we sure do. I mean, at the time, I mean, she was a big figure in the scene. You must admit, like at the time, not really anymore. But I wasn't really that engaged with the culture. Like, I mean, I was, but like not publicly. I was like in 2020, 2019, I would be like a 4chan kind of guy. Like I wasn't really a Twitter kind of guy until like pretty recently, actually. Sort of.
Were you ever in ICG or ICB? Those were the big Discord servers for Incelcore at the time. Were you ever in those?
Not at the time, no. I only joined like ICB like last year or something.
Oh wow. Okay, cool. So it's really been mostly like 4chan has been like your home, really, like in terms of your music.
Now it's more like the shardy, but yeah, like back then it was more fortunate. Back then it was more fortunate because I don't know. I just like the nature of like 4chan is so influentially, like so culturally influential, and I just wanted to be part of that. And I felt like I was like when I made those songs and like participated on like R9K and V and all these other boards.
Yeah.
So that was like important to me. Yeah.
What was the like reception of your stuff like on 4chan at the time? Because like I assume you were like, I don't know, posting that stuff and they would see it.
Yeah. I was posting it.
Yeah.
Basically half of the people were like, "Yo, this is so epic!" Like Reddit gold. Thank you, kind stranger. And like the other half were like, "Oh, this is look at this in his voice or whatever." I mean, people still say that to this day. By the way, people still call me that to this day. So not much has changed.
I was wondering then, if were you around at all, or to have an opinion on, or do you have an opinion on now of the e-punk versus Incelcore discussion? Being a 4chan guy, I have a feeling what you might think if you have an opinion. But
I guess I have a rather unique opinion on that. I don't mind the term e-punk. Like I'll always prefer Incelcore, but like the main reason I don't like e-punk because Shooter made it up and Shooter fucking sucks. So fuck him. And I think Incelcore is like a good term because it automatically creates shock and interest.
Yeah.
But I also think like I used to call myself Autism Core for like many years. I also think that's like a fitting title for a lot of this stuff. This hasn't really caught on, like the whole Autism Core thing, but
Sure.
But I also think we should bring it back. We should like I like Autism Core 2025. We're bringing it back.
Rebrand.
Awesome. Yeah, rebrand. Since you've been making sort of Incelcore for a while, like you've been making that type of music. Sometimes, you obviously have a very unique sound, but occasionally you'll make a song that's definitely an Incelcore song. Was generic Incelcore song your first like Incelcore song?
No. If you want to go back, like the first song I would say that is like sounds like Incelcore, like Incelcore is today that I made is like from like 2019, I think. Yeah, it's from my EP from 2019. It's called "My Depressed Ass Made This Song at 3 a.m."
Oh.
And it basically just sounds like you imagine. But yeah, it's a rock song. It's a punk song. It sounds like shit. Like I was really not nearly as good back then. But yeah, this is like I guess the first like proper Incelcore song that I made.
Oh, so was that one made with like the genre in mind, or did you just make it and then afterwards you realize, oh, this is like technically Incelcore?
I was like, I honestly don't really remember. I think I was just fucked up and like whipped up something random, and I didn't really think about it. I was probably high as fuck.
True to the title's name.
yeah. I used to be a mega stoner. I probably didn't think about it. I must have thought like, this is kind of like negative XP or something. Or back then maybe it was still School Shooter. I don't remember. But yeah. So maybe, but like indirectly, I wasn't like aware of it like at the time, I guess.
All right, got it.
Like consciously.
Sure. Do you know which song was your first conscious effort to like play into the scene?
Let's see. I'm going through my backlog in my hand. I guess "Fuck the World Economic Forum." I guess that would be "Fuck the World Economic Forum."
I like
Okay.
that song.
Yeah, it's a great song.
Well, because I noticed, like, going through your tags of your SoundCloud, like, you've got your, like, specific style, your signature style, but, like, all the time, it seems like you do experiment, like, with, like, sort of different genres. Like, I saw one, like, a ska song, you got, like, hardcore metal songs. I think the World Economic song, that's, like, a hardcore punk song, almost, so you do, like, you're not just a one-trick.
Yeah. I also did, like, straight up hardcore punk. I did, like, a sequel to "Fuck the World Economic Forum." It's called, "Fuck the European Union," and that one's, like, straight up, like, hardcore punk.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like doing weird genre shit. I'm just like a music guy. I'm a music college dropout. I suck at doing music. Yeah. Like, why suck at only one genre when you can suck at like a bunch of them? It's like I'm grinding. I'm grinding out here.
That's a good way to look at it.
Like my latest album, like my EP that I'm putting out right now, will probably have like straight up a jazz song. Like I don't give a fuck anymore.
Wow. Cool. So if you're interjecting all these different styles into your music, a lot of the newer guys on the scene, guys who are specifically Incelcore, specifically consider themselves Incelcore, they're using like a more pop punk or scenecore type sound. Like, I wouldn't say it's super similar to yours, but it's got the same elements involved.
I've been hearing like a lot of like newer stuff, and it's like, I don't know if it's necessarily me, like they're inspired by.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's like people like me and like Willow and Heartbreaker,
right?
Stuff like that. Like that's like the dominant, I guess, sound in the scene currently. That's what I would say.
Exactly. So I'm wondering, from your perspective, is this a good thing, or should these genres stay separate? Is it ruining the genre? Is it helping it? What's your opinion?
I think it has to coexist with like the more traditional sound and like more forward-thinking stuff that I'm trying to do and like other artists are trying to do. I think like again, it's core. Like we have E-CEL and then we have core. The core is important. Why? Because it's supposed to be like serious, like hardcore music. And like hardcore doesn't necessarily mean punk rock in my head. It just has to mean like it's edgy, it's out there. That's what I think it should be. So as long as it like fits the bill of being like hardcore in some way, I'm fine with it. Like I don't think it's like I think all of these kinds of sounds deserve to like coexist. And the scene is like more like a thematic kind of like scene anyway. Like you understand what I'm trying to say? Like it's more about the lyrics and the themes.
Right. It's a very open, very wide, very wide
yeah,
theme.
Like in 2028 we're gonna have some straight up mumble rapper doing like my girlfriend left me, yeah, I have no pussy, yeah. Like it's gonna be crazy.
I hope not. I really hope not.
Me neither, but it's gonna happen, like unfortunately.
Well, I want to hear you go into a little bit more about this, about what you consider Incelcore, because I actually agree with you. I've always said that the most important part about Incelcore is the lyrics. Like, yes, it is typically a punk genre, but I've always cared the most about lyrics. What's your opinion on like what Incelcore like is or is supposed to be?
I think as long as you're bringing that energy of, I'm a depressed, lonely virgin, and nobody is ever going to love me, and my dick hasn't been drier since before I was born, then as long as you bring that energy, it's like at least like you can conceptualize it as Incelcore, like in my head.
Okay.
But again, the lyrics don't have to be necessarily like Incelcore like focused, as long as you bring that energy. But I do prefer it if they are, because I just relate to that more, and I feel it has more energy. So that's what I'm looking for in Incelcore. Like,
sure,
I don't really care what other people consider Incelcore. If I consider it Incelcore, it's the truth, because I'm a Jew and I said so.
Yeah, you're word above all.
The chosen people. So you are one of the few big artists who like identifies, as you've said already, as like a true chud, like incel guy, is this...
Am I big? I don't really consider myself big. Like,
you're one of the bigger guys, I would definitely say. I mean, you definitely get like a lot of engagement. You're noticed by a lot of the bigger people. I would say you're definitely like one of the bigger musicians on the scene.
I guess I'm not used to that.
I mean, you were one of the first people I listened to when I first got into the genre, so I'd say that's big.
Seriously, damn, that's crazy.
I mean, you're on the E-CEL podcast, obviously.
Yeah, come on. Only the biggest mofos get on here. Let's be real.
Yeah, literally.
We don't let anyone on here.
I remember when like generic Incelcore song was like first blowing up, and like I started like realizing like people started like commenting, "Yo, what the fuck is this genre?" And like I started realizing I'm like a bunch of people's entry point.
Yeah.
And I'm like, shit, what the fuck?
Yeah.
I'm the entry point. Damn. Because I made generic Incelcore song for like people like old heads. I made it for people who are in the know. Like
sure.
Like I like all the references and like shit and then this is like the first song a bunch of people listen to. It's kind of crazy to me, but yeah.
Why do you think that song got so popular? Like, what do you think really blew it up?
It's honest. It's honest. It's me. I made that song when I was like at a very low point, and it's just honest. It's like straight up honest. I was just channeling it, and it's just like it's confessional in a way, because I confess about being shit at music and and like using it just as an outlet for my rage and shit and my frustration, and I don't try to like paint it as, oh, I'm actually this cool, mysterious, edgy guy anymore. You know, I was just being honest with that one. And also the music video, I kind of think this is part of the reason it kind of blew up, because I guess put some effort into it. I don't know if it's good, but I put some effort into it.
That music video is great. It really is great.
It's one of those things where you see it and you're like, oh, that's such a good idea. How come, like how has this not been thought of before? You know, like it's so like, oh, it's simple, but it's great. But yeah, that's interesting. You think that like song's more about you, because I thought that was about other people, but you're saying like maybe that was more of a reflection of you at the time.
Yeah, it's actually more about me, I guess, and like my journey with music, I guess. I mean, I mean, obviously it's a parody of the genre at large, but I was thinking of myself, but I was consciously knowing like, yeah, this pretty much applies to everyone as well.
Right.
So,
yeah, no, it captured the scene very like perfectly, I would say. So it's a great song to blow up for sure.
But it's kind of haunting me. The shit is haunting me at this point, I swear.
Yeah.
It's like I don't know, Kurt Cobain hated Smells Like Teen Spirit. I don't hate generic Incelcore song. I still think it's a good song. I don't regret making it, but and I wouldn't have done anything different, but like so many like it just created this canon in my head of like what I'm supposed to be, and like I've been afraid to like stray from that ever since. You understand?
Yeah, I feel like almost everyone like thinks that about like their biggest song, like, you know.
Yeah.
Because usually it isn't like, you know, when you make a song and then like after a while it's still your biggest song. Like, no, I'm so much more than that. But I feel like that's just a common thing with almost everybody who makes music.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it's just part of the trade. Yeah.
Yeah.
So to get back what I was asking earlier though, because you like identify like as like a like you're very open about how like you're an incel and you're like a chad, like you have all these right-wing beliefs and stuff. Is that like a character that you play into, or is that like honest? Like you're actually like serious about that? Okay,
so Edgemaster is definitely a character to some extent, but it's just like okay, so here's the lore. Okay, here's the breakdown. Edgemaster is about the extremes of life, so it's me, but I'm like portraying myself in the most extreme manner, both to good and bad. That's why I have songs that are like super wholesome and cute and shit, and then I have songs that are like the gnarliest shit ever. So it's all about like extremes. It's like I'm a dramatic person. It's just like a personality trait, and Edgemaster has been like a way for me to like vent it in like a creative form, I guess. That's what I would say about that.
Well, very cool. So are you like True Cell?
Yeah, I'm stone cold as fuck. Like one of the very few left. Like
let's go. Hey, fellow brother here. Fist bump.
Fake cell announcement coming never.
Stay true. How like how do you take your heritage, like, you know, because like a lot of people are like, oh, I might have been, you know, this is my heritage, but like I kind of throw that away. Like, do you like, I don't know, do you like respect, like, you know, like I guess like I don't know who you are in your past and your ancestors, or are you just like, I'm my own person and I'm going my own way, you know?
I respect my ancestors. I think it's important to respect your heritage and tradition. But then again, like individualism is also very important to me. It's like a very important value to me. I think these two have to coexist. Like if you take one or the other, like if you take extreme individualism, you're gonna end up a hedonist or like some psycho or something. And if you take the heritage route too much, you're just gonna end up, you know, stagnating. stagnating is the word I'm looking for. You're not gonna advance in any way. So it's all about a balance between the two, I would say.
Could you give us like a general idea of like what you identify as like on like the political spectrum? Because being from 4chan, obviously they've got a very specific view of the world. Like they're very, you know, right wing, you know, chuddy. You know?
I actually like the perception that 4chan is like, you know, really right wing, Nazi, whatever, is like relatively recent in the grand scheme of things. Like back in the 2000s, 4chan was like more identified as like radical libertarian or something, like centrist libertarian or something like that. They were just pissing people off. They pissed off conservatives and, you know, Scientologists and like all sorts of people,
sure,
as well as liberals. So I kind of identify as like again, that depends on like, because in Israel, I guess, like in Israel, people would consider me like center left even, because Israel is a very different place, and like the overtone window is like fucked up like in Israel. But in America, I'm like far right easy.
Okay, gotcha.
But like if you ask me about my actual beliefs, like what like ideologies I identify with, I'm basically just kind of lame, like right-wing centrism, like yeah, we should like not have degeneracy and ban porn and shit, but also like welfare is kind of good for families and stuff. So yeah.
Got it. Okay, sweet. So I have one last question on your belief system. You've made a post recently that said that you are the only Incelcore musician that follows the teachings of Yahweh.
That was a joke.
I'm just wondering, are you like a religious Jew or?
No. I'm totally secular, and I actually fuck with Christ, if anything.
Really?
Yeah.
That's epic.
If I was Christian, I'd probably be like Romanian Orthodox or something.
Hey, let's go. Let's go. That's awesome, dude.
I'm not really religious. Like I do believe in like higher power, I guess. I mainly just think atheism is fucking gay. It's like the gayest shit ever. It's like that's like
Amen.
God doesn't exist. Oh, we can do whatever we want. Shut the fuck up. I hate it. I used to be an atheist for many years, and like I cringe so bad.
Let's go. Well, very very good to hear.
But yeah, I don't like Judaism is a fucked up religion. I have many disagreements with Judaism, especially ultra Orthodox Judaism. It's I don't know how bad it is in America, but in Israel, like ultra Orthodox Judaism is like straight up a cancer. Like they're like straight up leeches on our society, like on normal people like me.
Yeah. Okay. Let's go.
In America, as long as you don't go to New York or Los Angeles, you're good. All right.
Yeah, you don't really have to deal with that too much. But well, that's cool to hear. Then interesting to get the true like unfiltered take on that. I can see why you and Little Watermark had a collaboration song that you guys did recently. It was a great song, by the way. I really liked it.
Glad to hear it.
But aside from him and this other random guy named Neanman310, you haven't really collabed with anybody on the scene. I'm wondering, do you have anybody that you would consider like a friend on the scene or somebody that you talk to a lot?
Other than Watermark, I talked with Maniac a lot. Maniac a lot. He's a great friend of mine. I love Jack. Shout out Jack, my bro. Love that guy. The Chungus of the scene. I love that guy.
True.
I actually had plans to collab with Jack, but our styles are just too different, so it kind of fell through.
That would be a crazy song though if you guys made one. That'd be wild.
Yeah,
sounding.
I'm still up for it, Jack. You know, Jack, hit me up for that verse. I'll do it straight up.
You say your styles, that's interesting here because I feel like you can sort of like do anything, like because you're so
versatile. Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, exactly.
But I do have collabs planned. I didn't want to like shill it so early in the show, but I do have some collabs planned with some big names.
Awesome.
As long as they, give me that fucking verse already. You know who you are. You know who you are.
Yeah.
But yeah. There are some cool stuff planned. I'm gonna collab with people more. That's something I'm hoping to do.
Very cool. Could I ask then, really quick, who the heck is this Neanman310? Like, who is this guy? You've collabed with him 3 different times now, I believe.
No, I think twice. I think only twice.
Oh.
It was back then, like in like 2021, 2022. He's like a Scenecore guy. We used to talk. We like each other's songs, so thought he would sound good on like my more Scenecore oriented stuff. So yeah, we collab.
Okay, sweet. It's not like a close friend or anything like that.
I still interact with him from time to time, but now we're not like close friends or anything.
Gotcha. All right, well, cool. So speaking of your collabs, obviously, the biggest one that you were going to do was on Farmyard. It was, for the audience who don't know, Farmyard was a compilation album that was canceled by Fried by Fluoride, shortly after its release date. So it missed its release date, and then it was announced that it wasn't coming out at all. It was supposed to star the big four, the quote-unquote big four of Incelcore, which is Fried by Fluoride, Neat, Crust Socks, and Heartbreaker. But on their promotional interview that they did on this podcast, they admitted that you were a bit of a last-minute addition to this compilation album. I want to know, how did you manage to be brought onto that comp?
Fried by Fluoride is my greatest ally, you could say. So it just like, it just dropped. It just dropped in my DMs and we're like, "Hey, you want to do this comp?" And he just offered me to go on Farmyard, and I was like, who's gonna say no to that, right? It's supposed to be like an historic, moment. So yeah, Fried by Fluoride, like straight up offered me that, and like I am grateful to it. And then some drama happened, and it got turned into Lost Media, and that's in the past. I don't hold any grudges. It's all water under the bridge for me.
Sure.
But I mean, it's a nice business. You need some drama in a scene to keep it alive, So at least
definitely.
I contributed. At least this compilation contributed in that way, you could say.
Yeah, we're still talking about it months later.
It's definitely become the next Dropout Boys in terms of never released
True.
albums.
True.
I do want to know, was it at all awkward being added to a comp? That was originally just intended for the big four.
I didn't even listen when Fried came to me. I didn't even know it was just the big four. I thought there were more artists on it. I didn't know at the time. I had no idea. I thought it were like a bunch of I guess smaller artists that were gonna be on it. I had no clue.
Got it. Okay, so it really was, you're just kind of left in the dark. Like I know, like you weren't on the interview that they did here on this podcast. Is there a reason for that? Like, did they invite you on it, or did they just go on it and not tell you about it?
I had no clue. It just dropped, and I was like, okay.
Oh, okay.
Because were you asked to be on there like before that happens? Like when in the time frame do you know?
No, like a long time before that. Way before the interview. Like at least 2 weeks before.
What was your reaction to it being canceled?
At first, I just thought there was a delay with the distribution of the album or something. I didn't really understand what happened until a few days after. I mean, it was a surprise, but I was totally kept in the dark about the details until pretty long after. And when I realized what had happened, I was like, that's a missed opportunity on all parties involved, right? But no use crying over spilled milk.
Sure. I do want to know, everybody was supposed to make 2 songs for that album. Have you posted both of your songs that were supposed to be on there?
One of the songs was a re-release of Flower Beds and Favorite Accident, so that was one that was already released.
Oh, okay.
And the other one I did drop, it was Hay Fever for Try Hard Hearts.
I figured it was that one, considering the name.
Hay Fever.
Yeah.
Yeah, I put a lot of love into that one. I kind of wanted it to be like the closing track, but yeah.
Yeah, it's a shame it never came out. Everybody was looking forward to it, but it is what it is.
Incelcore's biggest enemy has always been itself.
This is true. All right.
This is very true.
Time and time again.
Yeah.
Tale as old as 2019.
Yes. I mean,
exactly.
you made freaking videos on this scene yourself. Those videos are impressive. I remember definitely watching that Virgin Fest video, and I love how you incorporate your music into that. Most other people who cover all that stuff, they just straight make a video. But I guess because you're sort of a dual person, you can incorporate your musical side and you're really good at video editing and just storytelling side. Honestly, to that.
Yeah, I'm gonna add on to what Attire's saying here. You had a different YouTube channel that isn't Edgemaster42. It's still on YouTube. It's called Not Aiming for the Truck, which is where you put your Virgin Fest video. You've put a bunch of other commentary videos that are extremely well made. They're very high quality. I want to know, what was the goal of that project and why did you abandon it? You haven't uploaded on it in 2 years.
Oh, has it been 2 years? Damn, fuck. Time goes by. Fuck. I actually was planning a comeback with a feature, with a cool other YouTuber feature.
Oh,
Mr. Beast.
But that kind of fell through. But I'm still gonna. I have this big project, huge project, that I've been working on for almost 3 years, like on and off at this point. I don't want to spoil it too much, but it's gonna be like pretty much like pretty huge, and it was always meant to be on Not Aiming for the Truck, and I think I'm gonna drop it, and then I'll probably make a proper comeback because I did enjoy doing YouTube. I want to go back into that. I started that channel just talking about like music and stuff, but then I went on and talked more about like internet, like niche internet bullshit that I'm interested in. I really thought like I was gonna do YouTube for a while, and then kind of Edgemaster kind of blew up, and I was like, okay, I'll put some focus into that, but I might go back into doing YouTube soon. I really enjoy doing that.
Well, obviously, you've got a talent for both. Like, not only are you a very impressive and amazing musician, but like, you know, like I said, your YouTube videos are very engaging and very like well made. Like, I like in this, like, I don't know anyone else in the scene who can, you know, do things that well. Like, it is impressive.
Yeah.
I am sucking your dick here,
that's what not going out of your room does to a motherfucker. well, first, thank you. I guess that's like my way of like expressing myself, but I just like doing YouTube because some more like, have you guys ever read my lyrics?
Of course.
So I just like writing stuff. So it was kind of an outlet for that as well. That's kind of part of what's important to me.
Yeah. Could I ask where the name Not Aiming for the Truck, is that like from Toy Story?
Okay, so it is from Toy Story, but it's not. I kind of, when I made that up, I kind of was thinking, you know, this meme where like, oh, Buzz, we're not aiming for the truck, and then they're going into the Twin Towers. You know that meme?
Yeah.
So that's kind of what I had in mind.
Okay,
actually.
Awesome. That's a great name.
Because I was trying to find that channel today. I was like, I just put it in, and all I got was Not Aiming for the Truck Toy Story memes. I was like, no, I need to find the channel. You know,
it used to be way up on the search results. I just stopped uploading.
Exactly. Yeah, you got to have that consistency. YouTube loves that.
Yeah, if you keep it
the
up,
algorithm is ruthless. The algorithm on YouTube is ruthless. Totally
unfortunately,
ruthless.
it seems like the algorithm cares for the longer form videos. So I don't know if that's what that big project that you're talking about is going to be, but
it is going to be long. Yeah.
Nice. We love it.
Let's go. Well, we'll all be looking forward to that.
Everybody subscribe.
I have another question about your music channel. You're one of the few guys who is, you know, a pretty big musician who still uploads to SoundCloud a lot. Why is that? Like, do you have any plans to just move to Spotify, or?
I don't see why not. Like, more people are exposed to my music through SoundCloud. A lot of like Russians use SoundCloud. I kind of do it for them.
Okay.
Russians and Ukrainians and Belarusians, like Eastern Europeans, use SoundCloud, and it's just a way to reach like more people, I guess. Of course, Spotify is like a bigger thing for me at this point, but I just upload to SoundCloud out of habit at this point, honestly.
Got it. All right. So do you think you'll ever stop uploading to SoundCloud? Like if your Spotify really takes off and you just want people to listen to music on there, or?
People are gonna repost shit on YouTube anyway. Like I don't really mind. Like I don't consider it, piracy or whatever. Like, so I'm not getting my shekels from the music. I don't give a fuck.
All right. Well, very cool. And then also, speaking of your music, you have like a very like cool aesthetic. You seem to shoot for early 2000s like scene vibe, right? Is that kind of the aesthetic that you're striving for?
Yeah, but I'm gonna like you're gonna see soon a shift in my aesthetics. I'm like developing it. It's still gonna contain this sort of early 2000s bullshit MySpace kind of thing, but I'm gonna evolve it a bit more. But yeah, that's like part of what I've been doing. I think it just fits with the whole idea of making shit that's extreme, like and dramatic.
And you're one of the very few, old heads. 24, we're all old here, but like, because that must come from like, I see a lot of Zoomers trying to, I guess, like culturally appropriate that style, but I mean, you're old enough to where you were actually there when that was just the thing. So that must come from like a genuine place and not just trying to like go back to the past. That would just be what you're actually, maybe, was that what you were into, like, as you were growing up? Like, that's just the things that you saw, and that's why that inspires you? Or are you just trying to go back?
You make me sound way older than I really am, dude. I mean, when I was, like, it was really on the tail end. Like, when I was, like, 12, 13, it was, like, scene stuff was, like, just dying out.
Right.
I was like into it at the time, but like actually when I was that age, I was way more into like dubstep and EDM and shit like that. Actually,
Classic.
That's funny. I'm the same age, and I was the exact same way. You know.
I mean, yeah, me too. I mean, come on.
Every guy around our age was like that kind of.
Because that was the thing. Like nowadays, I mean, there are all these Zoomer. Like it's the same way. Like I look at the '90s. Like I was never live in the '90s, but I do look back at that time. Like, oh man, that was so cool. And you do see a lot of freaking like Zoomers, Gen Alpha. Like, oh, seeing Nightcore, all that, and they try to go back to that without actually being there. But I feel like when I hear you, I feel like that comes from like a genuine like. Yeah, you were kind of there, and you know what's actually up instead of just trying to emulate it.
You wanna hear context, like hot take Israeli context on that?
Let's hear it.
Absolutely.
So there's a place in Israel. It's called Dizengoff Center. It's basically like a sort of a mall, but not like any mall. It's like a collection of like indoor streets. It's built in this way that's infamous. Like it's infamous. That's really easy to get lost in the place.
I know about.
And it's sort of like it's like a pilgrimage destination for losers and emos and anime fuck buddies and every kind of person like that. Like everyone from all across Israel go just to visit that place like every day. It has lots of like weird stores and shit like that. There are also other people who are into Incelcore like me who go there. And when I was like a teenager, I would go there. I was part of that subculture, and there's like a whole subculture around it. It's called Yeldei Center, like center kids. And they all have this sort of aesthetic. Like now it's less like in the early 2010s, like late 2000s, it was more like more about like emo music and like anime. And now it's more about like it's kind of like Dizengoff Center has fallen. Now it's more about like gay shit and like stuff like that. It's like more like go there, like LGBT kind of people. But yeah, that kind of shaped me because I was part of that subculture. So it got stuck onto me, I guess.
Very cool. You used to hang out at the mall when you were a kid, is what I'm hearing.
Yeah, but it's like, again, it's not. I recommend you pull up Google search Dizengoff Center. And like I can type it in chat if you want. Like just see the picture. It's not really like any mall that sort of.
Huh.
I think I saw that cool. On NoFX Backstage Passport, so I think I know what you're talking about.
I really love your song "Wake Up." It's 2009 because it does like harken back to like the sort of era. Yeah. So it's it's great time.
Remember when I did Scenecore? Those were the days.
Did you always want to do music? Like how long have you even been doing it? Because your production quality is actually very impressive. Like I was impressed by that, especially in this scene. You get a lot of people who are kind of, just starting out. Maybe is a good term to put it. But I was really impressed. Like it seems like you do know what you're doing. So like, how long have you been like into music as a whole? Like, were you always into that? Like ever since you were a kid, or is this something that came later? And especially recording and shit. Like, how'd you learn all that?
Well, first of all, thank you. I started being interested in music again when I was 12, and I was really into dubstep. I actually started out making dubstep. That's really bad.
Fucking epic, dude. That's fucking swag. That's a little big right there.
That's like hard lore right there. So I started making dubstep, and then when I was in middle school, I had this band, like, and they kind of got me into. I started a band with my friends, and they kind of got me into rock music. And I started learning like to play the piano when I was like 12, 13. I learned that for about a year. And after high school, I actually went to music college, but I dropped out. I almost use nothing that I've learned in college. Like, kind of learned out everything myself, and my production. I guess you could say I've just been experimenting for so long. I used to like suck hard at production. Like, even if you listen to stuff that I made in like 2020, it's like way behind. Like, only recently got pretty good. I think pretty good at production.
Sure, yeah, you've definitely. You can hear your development in your music. Like, luckily, you seem to be one of the guys who leaves up all of your stuff that you've ever uploaded, right? Like,
no alt accounts, no bullshit. I'm just posting it. If it's shit, it's shit. I don't give a fuck.
Totally.
That's a good way to look at it.
But
like that.
With that, obviously your account's very old. I want to know. You seem to have shown some frustration in the past with the fact that your name, Edgemaster, it went from what I assume was originally intended to be like, oh, edgy, guy. So now Edge has taken on a new meaning.
I didn't even consider that when I made it up. But actually, my name wasn't always Edgemaster. I don't know if this is a surprise or not. My original YouTube channel was called The Autistic Anon for a while. and then I changed it to Edgelord42, and then I decided ruling over the edge is not enough. I have to master it. So I changed it to Edgemaster, but I really didn't consider that. Like, people joke about it all the time, and I thought it was like haha funny at first, but like, man, I've heard that joke so many times. Like, it doesn't frustrate me. It's just like, okay, dude, get new material.
Yeah.
Where's the 42 come from?
Oh, it's just Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. Nothing special.
Okay, cool. Very cool.
No deeper meaning.
For my very last question that I have, I want to know, can we get a soundbite? I want to hear you say "Oy vey."
אוי ויי, הגויים האלה הולכים להרוג אותי, מה זה הדבר הזה פה?
Let's go. That's funny.
That's freaking epic style.
But that's really all my main questions. Attire, unless you have anything more that you want to ask Edge before we end this.
I might have some more boring like production questions, like, you know, like what do you use and
Sure.
and stuff, and how do you record? Like that's always what I'm interested in. You know, like that's kind of boring, but I think it's
no,
good,
I think that's good to get into.
Like yeah, what's your DAW?
You use a lot of like electronic stuff.
Yeah.
What do you use? FL Studio or?
FL Studio 20, and I do some stuff in Audacity.
Oh, right.
And I have like semi-expensive music gear that I've collected over the years. Some of it is secondhand though.
Nice.
And I record with a trusty old Shure SM58. That's like the top 20 Incelcore microphones of all time.
and you do all like your guitars and bass and like that's like you just play that, right, or what?
I do play like guitars. Obviously, I do all of them, but bass in some songs, like especially the heavier ones, it's actually MIDI bass. Not because I can't play it, but because you actually needed like a 5-string bass for that, because the tuning is so low.
No, don't get me started on 5-string basses, dude. That's a rabbit hole with me. You don't want to go down, but
I do have a 7-string guitar, but like just like getting the bass to tune.
Get out of here!
What? They're not that expensive these days.
If you ask me, all right, like 6-string guitar, 4-string bass, anything more than that, get the fuck out of here. Like honestly, if you ask me, I need a 4-string guitar. That's it, you know, like those extra 2 strings are bullshit to me.
You just play power chords and that's it. Like that's the ultimate punk guitar.
Exactly. All right, that's all I need. All right, power chords. What the fuck is that? Like pentascales? I don't know. Get that out of here. Honestly. I'm
actually a music theory nerd. I like watch a lot of music theory videos on YouTube. Actually, it's kind of a nerd about that.
If you like music theory and stuff, do you like people like Death Tech on the scene who use more complicated sounds?
Yeah, I fuck with Death Tech heavy. Yeah, he's Death Tech, but more Death Tech is like he is a great composer and like songwriter. I think that's like his main thing, not necessarily music theory. He's just a really really good songwriter. Like maybe one of the most competent ones that I've met on this scene.
I'd agree.
Is there any others that you like really enjoy? Just even generally in music.
In music, obviously, I listen to a lot of like in the scene. I really like Watermark and Maniac and Heartbreaker and Fried and Need and all those guys and Crust, and a lot of like newer artists. Like there are a bunch of like cooler newer or smaller artists that I like Kanashi One and Tomo Pild and
dude, let's go Kanashi. I love Kanashi One. Kanashi One, shout out. All right, let's go.
Yeah, and Vomniac is great. Listen to Vomniac, and in music in general, I really fuck with like obviously like early to mid 2000s like emo and pop punk stuff and metalcore, like Motion City Soundtrack and A Day to Remember and Alexis on Fire and shit like that. I just fuck with that a lot. And no one in the scene has anything on me. I'm a nerd about that shit. But
I could tell you were sort of that like that sort of post pop punk, you know, like neon pop punk sort of style. Like I definitely hear that in your things.
Yeah. I really fuck with like Forever the Sickest Kids and like Scary Kids, Scaring Kids, those kind of that kind of thing. Like bands that like take pop punk but like bring it to the next level.
Yeah. Well, also because I you know like you remind me a lot of like sort of a lot of your songs are like E-CELcore, you know, like they're pop punk but they have those breakdowns in them. Like that's sort of like I heard that a lot in yours and I was like, thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, I wish somebody else did it. I wish somebody else did it except me, because I would love to hear it. I want to hear Heartbreaker tune his guitar to drop B and Chuck. Yeah. I want to hear that shit so bad.
You might be the only. I mean, I don't know. Maybe Death Tech might count, but like the only E-CELcore people in the scene, you know. So
I haven't still like. I'm more post-hardcore than easycore, I would say, but like, yeah, I definitely fuck with easycore. I like Chunk No Captain Chunk and Day to Remember and all that shit. But
yeah, for real.
And do you have any that you specifically take inspiration from?
Seosin is a big inspiration to me. I've been like upfront about it. I've as well as Motion City Soundtrack. They're a very big band for me, and of course, Fried and Tech are also big influences to me at this point. And also like a bunch of like Israeli bands, but that's not really interesting, I guess.
I think that's interesting. I think it's good to give them a shout out.
Yeah, like who? I've never even heard of Israeli.
Yeah, give us some Israeli bands to listen to, because I love listening to foreign bands and shit.
Okay, so there's a band called Shegetz, and it's basically like sort of like Radiohead / Weezer, but Israeli. It's like that kind of thing. It's like loser music for Jews. And and also really like this band called Synergia. They're kind of like more like sort of Skillet, but Jewish. Sort of like Skillet or 3 Days Grace, maybe you could say.
And let's
go.
Cool. There's also this local band that I'm actually friends with. They're called Doug, and they kind of like in that GT kind of style. They actually fuck with Incelcore and stuff.
Nice.
And they're good. They're called Doug. And there's also like this hardcore punk band that I like called Bolabal, and they have like this like really epic sound, like really fucking angry hardcore punk, and they like also deal with some loser kind of stuff in their music. So yeah, I fuck with that.
Do you get involved with like, I guess, the local scene? Like, I don't know what it's like, halfway across the world, but like, do you get involved like that? Like, I know I said like, is it lonely in Israel being like, one of the few Incelcore guys, but like, there's always a local scene. Do you get involved in that?
I was involved with that, but like, listen, in America it's niche as it is. Like, it's already pretty niche, but in Israel it's like less than 100 people or something niche.
I suppose, yeah, but there's bigger like things. Like, you could always market yourself as just a regular like rock artist and things. Do you ever get involved with any people?
I actually have an Incelcore project in Hebrew. Actually, I'm dropping an EP on that soon as well. And it kind of, I mean, I didn't say it caught on, but like people know about it. Like, there are some people in Israel who listen to me, like both Edgemaster and the Israeli project. Sweet. And I'm looking to like forward the scene. Like, actually, in general, it's like I think it's important to like market the scene to new markets, like worldwide. I think if we want to be like an international, globally recognized phenomenon, it's kind of a must. Like, I know America will always be like the main target demographic, but pushing it like worldwide is, I think, really important. And there's clearly a market for it. Like, there are people like us everywhere, like just about everywhere. Like, you see how Incelcore is successful in like kind of places like if you're not aware, you would think that would be unlikely. Like, it's pretty successful in Brazil, of all places. Like, I don't know if you know that.
I mean, everything.
Pretty like successful in Poland, in Ukraine, in Russia. I think there's a market for it, and it's like important for us to like market it worldwide. And I'm trying to do it in Israel. That's why I made a project in Hebrew. I tried to like set up a show. It fell apart, but maybe I can try something again. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm trying to do.
It's funny that you say that. Really, the only places I think that it hasn't like that there isn't like an actual fan base is in
Africa,
Asian countries, and Africa. Yeah. But then again, it like really doesn't fit them at all.
No, actually, there are some people in like I have received some. I don't know about other artists, but I have received some comments from like people in like Singapore and
Really?
The Philippines.
Wow.
And like there's a market for it like in Indonesia, like Southeast Asia and stuff like that. But because some of them speak English.
Yeah, Philippines really is the Brazil of Asia, so
pretty much. And I think like it's gonna be a problem. There is literally an equivalent scene in Japan that's like basically Incelcore, but they don't call it that, and it's like just loser music. We got to break into that scene.
Dude. I mean, if I know anything about Japan, like they've always got something going on that'll sort of translate there, like punk rock. I mean, punk rock was huge in Japan, like the 90s and early 2000s. So there's always a market there.
Yeah, emo was also big in Japan. Like, it still is big in Japan. And like I think they're like we just have to market our music right. Maybe get over the language barrier, and you can get into like every market that's out there, because there are people like us everywhere.
I wanted to ask like how, I guess, like open are you, I guess, in your real life? Because I know a lot of people in this scene, like they've got like their local, like I guess in real life scene, but they keep their Incelcore side of the scene sort of like separate and hidden. Like, how open are you to like being like, I'm Incelcore, to like I guess your local IRL scene? Like, are you okay with people in real life knowing that like, yeah, I'm part of Incelcore? Or do you want to keep that more cagey?
Everyone who knows about my music in real life knows. I've never hidden it from anyone. I don't give a fuck By the way, I got backlash for that. I got backlash for it a bunch of times, but I don't give a fuck.
Huh.
Yeah, see, that's the thing. A lot of people try to keep it hidden. Like they've got like an IRL scene, and then they've got like they keep it hidden their thing. But you're just going full like you are you. So
No, I don't care. Like a bunch of people like straight up cut contact with me over that, but I don't care. This is part of what I do. I don't give a fuck.
Sure.
And the people who do stay, I just appreciate them a whole lot more because of it. You know,
they're the real ones.
Definitely.
Yeah, those are the real ones. Yeah,
For real.
Well, that's very cool. That's honestly very refreshing to hear that, to be honest with you, because a lot of people don't like talking about this stuff in real life. Does that at all, has it affected your job? I mean, I would think in Israel especially, like they'd be really about the cancel culture. You know?
No. Israel is like not at all what you think. No, nobody cares. People at my job know that nobody
You're
cares.
not gonna get a pager in the mail, or anything like that. Like that's not gonna happen to you.
No, unlikely. If I disappear, you know who to call. But yeah. This interview is all, by the way, going on your file, like all of you.
Am I gonna have Mossad agents rolling up to my house, after this?
I'm gonna send you home appliances. You're gonna be all right.
Oh, epic.
Listen, if I get a package from frickin' Israel, I might throw that away. I'm just saying. I might not.
You can't find it. It's behind 7 proxies.
Okay.
Yeah, Attire, do you have any more questions that you want to ask?
I don't think so. Yeah, we went over your production and things. I think that's all for me. So.
Yeah. Edgemaster, do you have anything you want to bring up before we end, or anything you want to ask us?
I guess I'll stream my music. Stream my friends' music. I've got an EP coming out this week, likely by Wednesday, I think. It's called What Now. It's gonna have 5 songs. It's a bit of a departure. Like it's a bit different than what I've done so far, but hope people will like it nonetheless. And Godspeed, believe in Christ, and so on.
Hell yeah.
And, sweet. I'm going to say, do you want... this episode's going to be coming out next Friday. So then your EP should be out by the time this episode drops, right?
Should be. Unless I have like last minute complications, but should be, yeah.
Awesome. So, go ahead and tell everybody where they can find your music too, like all your socials also, where they can follow you. And if you want to talk about those big collabs that you mentioned earlier.
I don't want to drop names yet because
okay,
it's too early for that, but big names, trust me. And like the biggest, pretty much.
Sweet.
And although I'm of course open to collaborating with like smaller artists to hit me up. But my socials are Edgemaster42 on Spotify, on Soundcloud, on Instagram, and on Twitter I'm Eden_truck. Again, referring to not aiming for the truck. Yeah, that's basically all my socials, I think. And also, you can buy merch and give me some shekels. It will go to a good cause at Edgemaster42.store. Please buy my shitty merch or I will kill myself.
Awesome, dude. Well, great. It was great having you on. Thanks for coming on the podcast. I want to apologize. It was a little bit last minute, but you made the time, and I'm very grateful for that, dude. It's great to have you here.
No problem. It's been fun. I'm vibing.
I'm glad, dude. So we're going to wish you best of luck then in your future endeavors, and I guess that's going to be it. So take care, man, and we're looking forward to your new stuff.
All right, cheers, man. We'll talk.
All right. Well, that was Edgemaster. I think he was a great guy. Great to talk with him. Very interesting accent. I didn't know that's what they. He was. I was expecting like kind of like a New Jersey Jew type accent, you know.
No, that's what they sound like. I mean, I'm very familiar with the Jewish people. You know, I've read up a lot on them.
You are?
So, yeah. I mean, hey, gotta be prepared. So, you know.
Well, wait. When have you interacted with Jewish people?
Listen, all right. I don't want to get the Mossad coming to my house again. All right, but let's just keep that on the DL. Let's just keep that on the DL right there.
Okay, for sure. You have contacts. Gotcha.
I mean.
But no, it was great talking with that guy. I think, like I said, a lot of people, I've always felt bad when I see people like knocking his music because they're like, oh, this is like stupid Scenecore crap. It's like, it's definitely not Scenecore. I mean, it to some extent, it's definitely not Incelcore though. Also,
Yeah, well, I said, he experiments. Like, he's not a one-trick pony. Like, I only know how to write one type of song, and it's called a song off of Dude Ranch by Blink-182. You know, this guy actually is like good at music, and he's actually varied. That's what I love about him. Like, I think that's what's really interesting. You listen to his discography, and it's not just the same thing over and over again. Like, it's like, oh, here we go. We've got something different going on. Yeah, it's exciting.
Yeah, it takes some real creativity and also some real passion to be willing to experiment with a lot of different types of sounds.
Yeah.
You know? I will say I'll kind of miss his old aesthetic if he says that he's moving away from it. I do kind of dig the early 2000s. That's what this podcast kind of shoots for, is early 2000s kind of vibes.
I mean, I love Mouse Boyfriend, my favorite song of his.
Oh my gosh.
I love Mouse Boyfriend. I was like, dude, this is awesome.
That sounds pretty funny, yeah. But it's funny that he has like a song like that. Like, he was right when he said he has two extremes. Like, he has a song like that, and then he has a song that's like hardcore metal.
I'd say he has like 5 extremes.
Yeah, he's all over the place.
Like I said, he's a like Renaissance man, the Renaissance man of the scene, because most people like know how to do one thing and they just do it. This guy, like, it feels like he's never satisfied, and I think that's a good way to look at it. Like, I gotta so
yeah, no, you're right. No, it's cool. You never know really what you're gonna get. I was super surprised looking into him. I think I just kind of assumed that he had done collabs with people, but he really, like, I think Lil Watermark is basically it in terms of guys in the scene.
Right.
I mean, he was on one like small comp album that came out a while ago. I think it was Lil Watermark's, but it really wasn't anything noteworthy. I didn't even bring it up in the interview.
We are in a new age, new collaborative age of Incelcore, and I think it's only going to get more, together, more friendos, there's going to be more Denny's than ever before. There's going to be more friendos than ever before. So it's only going to get bigger than it was. So, I wouldn't count that out of the running. I mean, he was willing to be on a compilation album for, everyone a little bit schizo mode, but that's fine.
Yeah, true. I think it's kind of hilarious that he was like, he knew as much as anybody else.
Right? He was like, I don't know, man. I just like, and I can relate to that, because there's so many things where like people will get me on. It's like, I don't know what's going on. I just know how to make a song, and if you want, I'll give it to you. Like, I feel like that was his sort of thinking about that. It's like,
people in this scene are so bad with communication, dude. It's like unreal.
There are a couple like spurgs in the scene. It's like, dude, chill the fuck out. All that's like, to me, the scene is all about 2 things. It's about making music and telling dumb jokes, and it's like people kind of like get in their heads about shit, and it's like, why are you fucking around, dude? Like, this is all for fun.
Yeah, no, you're right. But also what I'm talking about is just like, people don't like talk to each other. Like, Edgemaster said, like, he's waiting on some verses. Dude, that is the tale of like everybody in the scene, is that they'll be like, hey, let's collab. And they're like, yeah. And then they don't talk to each other for months, and the song never gets put out, just simply because they don't bother to DM each other.
I know this. I mean, the song that, well, actually, I'm going to upload the song today, so it should be like a week old by now. Like, the song that I uploaded was supposed to be a collab song months and months and months ago. I was like, fuck it, dude. I wrote this whole song. I'm just going to release it. Like, I can't wait anymore.
Oh, is that the Cyborg one you were talking about?
Yeah. I love my boy Cyborg. I always will, but I've got to get this album started, and I need to upload something from it. So the song that is probably a week old by now, because I'm about to upload it in a couple hours from this recording, is going to go out. So if you want to, hey, check that out on my YouTube, Spotify, whatever, But
yeah, that's the one that you mentioned, that you talked about on your interview even. So
it is, yeah.
Crazy.
It is, where I was like, yeah, that song's not coming out anytime soon. And apparently it's not, I mean, the version of it with Cyborg 9K, I don't think it's, but I respect it. Like, I understand he wants to take a different direction and things. That's why I'm like, I'm going to go ahead, because I've leaned way more like into Incelcore. Like, before, when I first started, I was like half and half. I was like, I don't really know what's going on. Now I know, all right, I'm incel to the core. So I'm just gonna go for it, and I respect, like, yeah, he doesn't want to be involved with that. That's fine, like that's his decision. So
sure,
that's why I think like he probably doesn't want to be involved with this, because I'm gonna have like, I'm leaning into Incelcore hard. So I'm just gonna say I'll do whatever I want. We go our separate ways. I still love you, C9K. You're my boy. You're my boy. But it's fine. Sometimes that's what I guess this is growing up. Honestly,
True. Yeah. Like, isn't that a Blink song?
What? Who's that? Blink? What's that?
Yeah. Okay. Well, okay. Very cool. Yeah. That's awesome. been anticipating that for a while now, so it'd be cool to hear it.
Yeah.
If you want to go ahead then and just anything else you want to promote, or give where people can follow you at, and we'll wrap this thing up.
Promote. I'm Not the Proper Attire. You can follow me on YouTube, your Spotify or SoundCloud, and all of your streaming services. I will have an album coming out soon, and by now you've heard the first single off of that album. But definitely be looking to me in the future, because I do have an album coming out. It's called. Oh, I'm gonna solidify this. It's called "What Can You Do." So be looking out for that.
Well, very cool. All right, sweet. Yeah, and for everybody, I'm just going to say, please buy the podcast merch and follow the podcast on YouTube, Spotify, Rumble, and Twitter. Try to remember, every Friday between interviews, around 8 or 9 p.m. EST, Eastern Standard Time, we'll do a Twitter space on the E-CEL Twitter account. Let us know if you're interested in being E-CEL's resident clip maker. We need somebody to do that for us, so if you want to volunteer, that'd be awesome. Join us on our official Discord server as well. We got a lot of great people in there, a lot of great content. So link for everything is in the description below. And obviously make sure you follow me, your host, Ofigs, on YouTube, SoundCloud, especially Twitter at Incelcore fan. Please check out me and Attire's latest song, our collab song, which came out great. I love it. It's called Girl at Steakfest. Really fun to make. Make sure you check it out. My SoundCloud, his YouTube. So I think that's really everything we had to talk about. Well, guys, I guess that's it.